Assalamu alaikum everyone. So this is the second video that I'm doing. This is about the email writing issue that some of the students raised. They struggle with things like what to write, how to write, that sort of stuff. So I'm not going to discuss the structure of the email a lot. I think everybody knows that the format that there's a start, there's a body, and then you close the email, yada yada yada. So I'm not going to waste your time on that. So just very quickly, when you're starting your email, just make sure that your start is nice and short and simple. For example, hello doctor, and then the last name or the full name. Don't go with the first name only, that's incorrect. So doctor, last name, or the full name, that's important. Second, just briefly, just ask how are you or how are you doing and that sort of stuff. Hope you're well, and that one liner, that's enough, that's more than enough. These are very busy people, they don't have the time to read an essay. They just don't have the time to go through a very big email, a very long email. That's what I'm trying to say here. So you get on with your with the second paragraph, or the body of the email as we normally call it. Just briefly introduce yourself. And when I say introduce yourself, what I mean is that just make sure that you mention your education, whatever you have read, whatever you have studied previously, whatever research articles you read when you were studying, and what you want to study in the future. So for example, if I were to write an email, I'd very simply say that I have a degree in English linguistics and English literature, and in the future I would like to explore intercultural competence a bit more. That's it, that's just about it. um, After that, it's important that you mention your research interests as well to the professor. It's extremely important, because that's what it's all about, research. That's what education in all these advanced countries is all about. So it's important that you mention that. And when you are doing that, you don't really have to have the entire research proposal in that email. No, that's not necessary at all. What you essentially need is just a one liner, maybe a couple of sentences, that this is my research interest and this is what I want to do, and that's it, and you move on. The third thing is, in the body of the email, that the person you're writing to, please make sure that you talk about their research as well, so that they have some understanding that you have done some homework on them. You have gone to their profile, you have looked at their published work. Now when I say their published work, I don't mean to say that you have to read the entire the entire article. No, you don't have to. You go to the profile, you see the articles that they've published, and you just choose one. Google it. Google is your best friend. Google it, and then just read the abstract. That is completely free. Google straight away shows the abstract of a certain article that you're after. So just read the abstract and you're good to go. Once you've read the abstract and you have some idea that this professor, he or she, they are working in the same area, the area that I want to explore further, from there onwards you can easily go and you can easily let them know that, look, I've done some research on you, and this is what you are doing, and this is what I want to do, and I believe our interests are aligned. Hope that makes sense. And then the last thing, again, very briefly, in the body of the email, you can talk about funding as well. You can, but you have to word it nicely. You can't just demand funding. You have to word it very nicely, that at this stage I don't have the means to, for example, fund my education, but is this something that you could look into? Is there funding available? Is this opportunity there or not? So, and let the professor get back to you. They will get it. You just have to mention it. You just have to touch upon it, and they will have an idea. They deal with thousands of students every day, so they know the problems. The main thing is that the email should look professional, right? So I'll sum it up again. The body, it's very important. Introduce yourself very briefly. What have you studied so far, and what do you want to study in the future? What are your research interests? What is the professor's research interests? What did you read, like from their work? What did you read which makes you think that your interests and their interests are aligned, and they will be a good supervisor to you? And then of course funding, right? Then you close it very nicely, that would please let me know, would you like to have a look at my CV, and I hope to hear from you soon, something like that. One liner again, and that is your nice, short, to the point email. You have to be very, very to the point. because again, as I said, these are busy people. They don't have the time to go through, an essay, as I said. The structure again, the formats are available. If you're confused, the formats are available on internet. All you have to do is just Google, and it'll show you the start and the body and the close. I think what was important was the actual content which goes in the body, specifically in the body of the email, and I think that's where people get confused, and that's what I've tried to address. um, yeah, and this brings us to some of the things that you should not be doing. So just be wary of that. There are certain things that students do, and they sort of put the professors off. Um, like they find them off-putting. Like for example, using the word dear when you're starting an email. Dear is normally something that is used for friends, so avoid doing that. As I said, hello doctor or hi doctor, and the last name or the full name. That's more than enough. That'll suffice. Typos, please just read your email very, very carefully. Do not rush it. If you think that there is a particular sentence that you are struggling with, ask someone, one of your colleagues who has better language skills, some friend, some sibling, but do not send an email when you are not sure about the language of the email. Extremely important. Do not rush it. That's your first impression. If you do not create a good first impression, chances are that there's a very high likelihood that the professor is not going to get back to you. So please don't do that. Don't let that happen to you. uh, do not send them attachments straight away. Do not send them attachments straight away. Sometimes they don't like it. As I said, they're busy. Sometimes there are security systems in at different universities. They Your email will end up in the junk folder if you have a PDF file or something else attached to, or a Word file attached to it. So do not do it. As I said, in the closing section, just ask that would you like to have a look at my CV, and let them get back to you. So that's one thing, and extremely important, one email per professor, please. uh, don't just write one generic email and then BCC 1000 people. Don't do that. This is happening a lot in Pakistan. People somehow get hold of a format. It's not even their own email. They just get it from someone, they draft it, and then after that they BCC like as many professors as they can. It's not going to help. I know certain people who are, for example, in countries like China, and then there are professors who are, this is not official policy, but they are very, very reluctant to have students from Pakistan. They just don't like it. And one of the reasons is that the impression that we have created is that everybody wants to get out of the country, and that's why they're writing to professors left, right, and center. So don't do that. Like, there are examples where the professor was in the computer science department, and there was a business student who approached that professor that, would you be able to supervise me? It's just horrible. So just don't do that. Try to stick to one professor and do your homework properly, and that will hopefully get the job done. If I have missed out on something, or if there are any questions, let me know, and I will try to address those questions as well. Hopefully, this is I hope this is going to make sense, and yeah, you'll get something out of it. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.